time for our market update for the Athens and Oconee County real estate area. It is September and lots of discussion about the Fed meeting next week. And with the inflation and the job reports, it looks like they are finally going to lower the rates next week. Now, as we've talked about before, the mortgage interest rates and the Fed's rate are not a direct correlation, but the mortgage rate is definitely affected by the Fed rate. And in anticipation of this drop, a lot of mortgage rates have already started to drop. So even if next week, if there's a quarter point drop, I don't know that we're going to see a significant amount of drop in interest rates. Now, if they go to a whole 0.5%, then we probably will see that. But what does all this mean? Who cares what the interest rates are? What is the actual buying and selling of homes looking like in this area? And what we are seeing is homes are sitting longer on the market. And what I am telling my sellers now is it may be 2 or 3 months that your house is on the market, which is what homes were like for most of home buying and selling. If you're listing your house, it's going to take a few months before it sells. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Now, what's surprising to me is I think homes are sitting longer as interest rates are dropping. Rates have been going up the last few falls, and yet, at least my buyers and sellers, we still have seen most homes moving pretty quickly unless there was something really wrong with the house or really needed some major updates. But now, really great homes are still sitting longer. So why is that? What's going on with that? Why would that happen? And so I talked to lots of other very smart agents in our area. I'm always picking their brain, and when we're giving feedback back and forth, because I'm hearing this is not just my experience with my clients, but I'm hearing it across the board. There are not a lot of active buyers right now. So here are a couple thoughts of why that might be happening. One, people keep talking about the election. People don't want to do anything until the election. I don't understand that one, so I'm just going to say that. I mean, I guess some people are afraid, depending on who gets elected, how that might affect things, and they're just kind of wanting to see what would happen. I personally don't think that is a great reason to wait. Most things in government, as we know, don't move super quickly. So even if there is a different administration one way or the other, if there are actual practical changes that might affect the economy or affect buying or selling a home, we're probably not going to see that for a little while. So personally, I would say set that aside. I wouldn't let that influence me. One of the reasons that might be holding people back is more psychological. So I think the people with rates higher that were buying and selling were people that needed to buy or sell. They were moving to the area, they were going through a life change, and they're first-time home buyers, and they needed to buy or sell, so they were doing it. So the rates were what the rates were, and they were making them work. I think where we are more than 2 years now into higher rates is you do have more people who are willing to walk away from their sometimes sub-3 interest rate for the right house. But it has to be the right house. And for most people, that means almost perfect. So new builds seem to be selling really well because they're perfect. You don't have to do anything. Because when you look at what your monthly payment is, let's say you have a $500,000 home, which first of all, think about that. This is gonna age me, but for my whole life growing up and into my 20s, even to my 30s, if you own a $500,000 home, you are wealthy. That is not the case anymore. We are ticking up close to the median home price, getting really close to that $500,000 mark. It is now over $400,000. So a lot of people, the house they're looking for their family is gonna be at least $500,000. And that payment, if you put 20% down, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be over $3,000 a month, which is a pretty significant amount of money. So if you're gonna be paying that amount of money, you don't wanna have to do anything to the house. You don't wanna paint it. You don't wanna have to redo a kitchen or a bathroom. You don't want a lot of yard work to do or deferred maintenance. If you're gonna have that payment, gosh darn it, you are gonna move into a house where you don't have to do anything. So I think there's psychology there. So for sellers, what I would say the takeaway is, do the things to your house. If you wanna get top dollar, go ahead, have your house be freshly painted. Make sure it's staged well. That's something that we can talk through and help you with. If you can wait until the spring, I would actually wait until the spring. I think rates are supposed to continue to trend down, and I think at that point there is going to be that pent-up demand where people are really going to want or feel the need and the time to make that move. So if you can wait until the spring, maybe wait until the spring. Now for buyers, I say the absolute opposite. This is a fantastic time to buy a house right now. You're probably going to get a lower interest rate than you would have had last month even though it might go down a little bit more in 6 months, 0.25%, 0.5% is probably not worth waiting, considering what you might end up paying for that house. Because once rates drop down into the 5s, I think we're gonna see again all of that pent up demand just coming out. And then you're gonna have the families that traditionally try to make moves in the springtime, kind of get the moving happening during the summer for kids' school and all of that. That just the spring market is always traditionally a little bit busier, and I think we're gonna see that even more so this coming spring. Also, we're seeing homes that are great homes that just need a little bit of tweaking. They're just not brand new, and maybe they need one bathroom to be updated or part of the kitchen to be updated or a little bit of fresh paint. If you aren't scared of those types of things, I think you can get a really good value right now for your house. And so if you have been thinking about buying a home, I think this is a fantastic time to do it.